You are now listening to the Gospel of Alex. Alex, drop those scriptures. Church is in session.
I don't think this is fair. Like, I understand this is your house, Ms. Lee, but I don't think this is fair.
I know it's not really all his fault. Can we stay here?
Mommy.
Can we just
Y'all can stay, but he can't stay.
Why not?
Well, I don't understand. Like, this is we a family. Like, I understand, like, this is your house, but, like, I'm not leaving my family. So what you expect me to do?
All right, first of all, we're going to stop right there. Once he said, I understand this is your house, that's it. There's no argument. There's no debate. That's her domicile. That's her castle. She can do what she wants in her castle. And that's her house, not apartment. So she did the work. She paid for it. She can decide who she does and doesn't want to sleep there. And she decided she didn't want your ass there. And let me tell you, men, some real grown man talk. Because everybody talk that little kiddie stuff on the internet. Here's some real grown man talk. In real life, this is more than likely what's going to happen. If you have a whole family that's under your protection, your provision, and your leadership, and for whatever reason, y'all get evicted. And I understand things happen, okay? But understand, the shelters, they're going to take your children in. They're going to take your wife in. They're not going to take you in. There's a whole bunch of children's shelters. There's a whole bunch of women's shelters. There's a whole bunch of women and children's shelters. There's not many male shelters. And at the end of the day, even the ones that are, you're going to call them, they're going to say it's full. There aren't going to be too many relatives who are going to take y'all in, especially all four of y'all. First of all, let me say this. They're asking her right now if he can stay. You know what that means? That means they didn't call her and give her any warning that they is about to be evicted. Anyone who's ever actually rented a place knows they're required by law to give you at least 30 days notice before you even get evicted. And that's not including going to court. So they knew they were getting evicted. It's not like they didn't know they were behind. It's not like they didn't get notifications of eviction or notifications of going to court. Okay, they got these things. This is how it legally has to work. They have to go to court. The court serves you. You go to the court. They ask for the motion to evict you. After they ask for the motion to evict you, you still get time to catch up before the sheriff gets a date to actually evict you. So they knew that this was happening, and they didn't say anything to this lady. They just spring up on her with not one, not two, not three, but 4 different bodies because you got 2 kids, your wife and yourself. And that's not fair to her. She's probably not prepared to provide a room for all y'all, to provide food for all y'all, to pay the extra electricity to have all y'all in there. And then you talking about what's fair. That's not fair. At the end of the day, as a man, you got to realize no one's coming to catch you when you fall. Now listen, I'm going to tell y'all a story really quick. And some people would be like, you shouldn't tell this story. And if you're part of the elite fleet, you already know this story. But if you knew, this would probably be your first time hearing this story. But I'm transparent. I believe in telling people what's real in real life and not capping so you can actually help folks. Those of you who know, I'm originally from New York. I came down to Maryland for college, right? So I wanted to get in-state tuition. So initially, I went with like 4 of my peers who I went to college with, and we became roommates, renting out a townhouse. But then eventually I got a house on my own. So I was doing great. Again, some of y'all already know this story. Had the Dodge Charger with the chrome exhaust pipes, the 20-inch rims, the tinted windows, all that, okay? But all of a sudden, I got into a situation at my job where I got a new district manager from Texas who was racist and found the reason to fire literally everyone black who was on that staff. So it blindsided me when he came in there and he fired me. I need to make a certain amount of money to be able to keep up with everything I had purchased. So it was taking me time to get another job. Eventually, I got behind. I got the notices. I didn't have the money. I knew I was getting evicted. Now I had to make a decision, right? I can go back to New York with my tail between my legs to my mom who already doubted me. My mom who told my family, oh, he's not going anywhere because boys don't go far away from home. Oh, I don't think this would be a good decision. How are you going to make it out there? I don't think you should get your own place. You're not ready for that. I don't think you should get a charger. You're not ready for that. I could have drove my car back to New York with my tail between my legs and probably would have still been in New York to this day. Wouldn't be in Maryland making all these moves, accomplishing everything I had accomplished. Or I could take it on the chin, man up, and say, you know what? I'm going to stay in the fight. This is going to be a rough patch, but it is what it is. But I'm not going home with my tail between my legs. I'm not crying to nobody. I'm not calling for no help. I'm going to figure it out. And that's what I decided to do. Y'all know what I did? I got me a storage unit. I put all my stuff in the storage unit. I slept in my car. And I planned to sleep in my car for a month. But luckily, as soon as that happened, I got another job on the same pay scale. So I was able to get a check, find me a roommate, live with a roommate for like 2 months, get my money back up, then get me another place right after that. In no situation did I call my mom. In no situation did I run home with my tail between my legs. This is what this man should have did. He should have got a motel for his family if he don't want to leave his family. Or he should have just been happy that someone was able to take his wife and his kids in. You know what a real man would have did in this situation? He would have said, you know what, baby, don't even worry about it. Y'all can stay here. He wouldn't even ask to stay there because I wouldn't have even asked to stay there. Y'all can stay here. I'll be back in a month with keys. We'll have a new place better than our last one. And then he should have went out there and grinded. 1, 2, 3 jobs, whatever he had to do. That's what he should have did. But because he's a damn beta male, because he's a son husband, because he's a victim-minded man, which we have so many of today, he didn't do any of that. And yeah, that's right, I had to make this reaction because this video pissed me off. This is unmasculine as hell. And ladies, please let these dudes know in the comments, talk about my line. How are you begging someone for a place to stay and that's your husband? What wife wants to watch her husband beg someone else for a place to stay? To be honest with you guys, your wife, if she really a writer, would have just been homeless with you for real. They'd rather see you as a man be solution-oriented and figure it out, not to be begging their mom for a place to stay. This is unmasculine as hell. And ladies, y'all need to let them know when y'all watch this that I'm not capping. I'm masculine as hell. This is a way to get divorced. Not only did you let your family get evicted under your protection, your provision, and your patriarchy, but you crying to her mother, not even your own mother. Why don't you go stay with your mother? There's so much wrong with this, but let's continue.
I don't know what you gonna do, but you just can't stay here. Her and the kids can stay as long as they like.
But Sean is a part of the family, so he gotta. So he gotta stay at a hotel? Like what?
Yeah, he gotta stay at a hotel. What's the problem with him staying at a hotel? This is a grown-ass man.
If you're trying to follow him, I suppose so.
And look, she said the same thing. If you're trying to follow him, I guess so. What did I tell you guys? He don't got motel money. That's the problem, but let's continue.
I don't think
Are you recording this? Don't record this.
no, man, because that's bogus. That's bogus. Like, I ain't finna cuss in just your house. I want to get loud. I ain't about to do that, but I literally can't stay here. Like, I have nowhere to go. We all got evicted. Like, I know you trying to say I'm the man and I was supposed to take responsibility, but life happens. Like, I don't understand why I can't stay here in this league.
And that's the problem. Yeah, I know you're trying to say I'm the man. I'm supposed to take responsibility. Yeah, you are the man and you are supposed to take responsibility, which is what you're not doing right now. Again, what you should be doing is saying, you know what? I'm going to be back in 30 days, y'all. I'm going to have the keys to a better place. That should be your attitude. Not sitting here talking to someone, oh, I don't want to get loud and turn up. So you mean to tell me if you wasn't in her house, you would be cussing her out for not letting her stay with you? You a grown-ass man. This is a son husband. This is a bum. This is not a man anyone should be defending, nor is it a man you should want to be.
I don't understand why I can't stay here.
Well,
Maybe just for like a week. Just a week, maybe. And then...
I mean, she just said y'all can stay as long as y'all need to, but I gotta
That's what I'm
leave.
trying to ask her if you can stay for a week. Just at least a week. So you don't have to be out on the street by yourself.
So you gonna stay here even though I can't stay here? That's what I'm asking you. You still gonna just stay here and knowing I can't stay here?
Where else is we gonna go?
And look, he talking about some... And look, he talking about some, oh, so you gonna stay here even though I can't stay here? Yes! She has a place to go. Again, as a man, this is the beta male of all beta males right here. As a man, you're supposed to be happy your wife and kids got somewhere to go. Go figure it out. You gonna stay here even though I can't stay here? What, so she's supposed to be homeless with you and the kids? This is not a real man. That's probably why her mom don't want her to stay there, because she probably want her to see, this is your man right here. No problem solving skills, no fight, no pride, no heart, no nothing. He'd rather y'all all take it out to be happy his wife and kids got somewhere to stay. Weak.
At the point though, like, we supposed to be together on this. I'm finna let me sleep outside on the
I didn't say this. I'm trying to get you to be able to stay here. You don't want to stay here or not?
Trying to shame, guilt, and insult her so that she feels bad about the fact that he can't stay there. Ridiculous.
Come on.
I can't stay here, Miss Lee.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why? Why?
Y'all made no effort, or you didn't get a job, or something, so that y'all.
Well, school just started, and I had to get groceries, and then my car note was due, and then I had to pay the insurance. So it just fell behind. A lot of things just fell behind.
Oh, look at that. Car note was due and I had to pay insurance. So like most people living above your means, at the end of the day, if your car note was due and you had to pay insurance, you're supposed to say F that and pay your rent, especially when you have kids. But I'll tell you what, since you decided keeping your car insured was more important than keeping a roof over your head, even though you have children, it's not just you, why don't he go sleep in that goddamn car that was so important to him and y'all stay there? That's before I even got to that part of the video. I already knew what it was. Listen, man, there ain't no need to watch nothing further. It ain't no need to watch nothing further. As a man, you have to take responsibility and accountability for your actions. Y'all can be listening to these victim-minded dudes online who be telling you, what about how men feel, and what about this, and what about that? The reality is society is going to hold you as a man accountable and responsible for whatever decisions you make and whatever predicament you get yourself in. No one is coming to save you. This is why we must always be logical. This is why we must always be smart. This is why we have to remove ourselves from bad situations, because we're not going to fall on our feet. I've told you guys before, and I will say it again. Women always have someone to catch them. Doesn't matter if it's their family, your family, the government, social services, which is really just a different branch of the government, but someone's always going to catch them. If all else fails, they can use that ATM between their legs, but they're going to be all right. You ain't got none of that. Government ain't catching you. Her family damn sure ain't catching you. Your family might, but would it even be worth what you're going to have to deal with and hear in your ear all the time for them to do that? And the government ain't catching you. The shelters ain't catching you. This is just a fact. So you always got to play chess, not checkers, and stay one step ahead. But if you do mess up, listen, life happens. I understand that. That's why I told my story. Then be a man and eat it. See, that's the problem. A lot of you dudes is soft. Single mom raised, running around too many goddamn women, victim mindset, woe is me, crying about everything. Why girls don't do this? Why women don't do that? How come nobody looks at it from men? You're supposed to be a man at the end of the day. Sleep your ass in the car. Get a hotel. Call one of your boys if all else fails. But I say sleep in the car. Because when you sleep in the car, you're that damn uncomfortable and your ass is cold and you can't stretch all the way out. That's what I like to call going through the fire. And going through the fire as a man builds character. This is why I tell most of you need to get out your mama's house. Because even if you struggle, even if you mess up, you got that experience. So that way by the time you get a woman and a wife, you'll know better. You already made those mistakes. You won't have to go through those mistakes with a whole woman and a family with you. This is why I tell you guys that. But men don't want to go through the fire nowadays. They want to be baby and catered to like women. It's more women with houses and apartments nowadays than men. A lot of these dudes be online talking crazy. They be living with their moms. And you can tell which dudes is beta males by who is even sympathizing with this dude. There's nothing to sympathize about with this dude. He's not a real man. He went in and over his head. He should have told his woman, listen, we can't pay that car note and car insurance. We might have to come back and get that car. We got to keep a roof over our head because we got kids. He couldn't even come up with enough logic to make that decision, which would have been the best decision for his family. So no, she should let him stay with him. And understand again, man, no one's going to let you do that. So every move you make, you better be thinking long term. But this is a beta male. And I just had to say that because, like I said, I've seen too many videos defending this dude. There's nothing to defend. This is a beta man. At the end of the day, once you take the responsibility of a life and you have kids, the wife and the kids gonna always come first. Whether you like it or not, you can say it's not fair. You can say it's the gynocracy. You can say whatever you want. That's how it's gonna work. If you're not in a position where you're ready to take that on, and you can't even look at it like that, as my wife and my kids gotta be straight than me, then you shouldn't get married and you shouldn't have children. But everybody wants to have kids nowadays, even if they're not in a situation to have them. Don't even want to sacrifice for their kids. You gonna sleep in the car with your kids too? Just stupid. But anyways, that's my thoughts on that, y'all. I am Alex, and I am out. Peace. Stay out of relationships until you have the logic, the financial, and situation together enough that you can keep yourself out of these types of situations. Peace.